Philadelphia. I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show.
Super Bowl! Super Bowl! There it is! Wow! And start playing this song on the way to New Orleans. All right? The road to New Orleans. The scene is set for Rocky 2. Yes. Andy Reid Bowl, Roman numeral 2, and this is the rematch. In the sequel, Rocky wins. All right? That's it. That's it. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody is walking on air. No sleep. Everybody on Broad Street last night partying away as the Eagles dominate Washington yesterday. A 55-burger double nickels. Oh, my God. 55-23. The Birds punched their ticket to New Orleans. What a game, man. Domination. The up front, 3 rushing touchdowns for Saquon. The early home run to set the tone. 3 from Hurts. The tush push, the brotherly shove on full display yesterday. The Eagles just pounded the ball on the ground. And this is the 3rd Super Bowl in 8 years for this incredible franchise, the Eagles, the light of Philadelphia. Good morning. This is the Anthony Gargano Show. We're presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Go to TrueMark.com/PHLY to find the credit union difference. And what a night last night. What a game. It all started, man. You know, it was just a thing of beauty. Washington takes the opening kickoff, right? And how about it? And they drive down. They're going for 4th down. They're bleeding clock early. They settle for 3, and then that's it. Then the Eagles take over, and it wasn't a game. It wasn't a game. They just showed their dominance. Saquon, the early home run to get things started. And that would be the whole story of the game, is the Eagles' domination up front. And it didn't matter who was at center, who was banged up. Man, they showed grit. They showed so much. Oh, my God. Hurts was spectacular. Made some great throws, right? You know, it was the knee was fine. He showed no limitations whatsoever. He was amazing. Yeah, it was a Barkley, Jalen, AJ game. AJ out of his mind. Took care of Lattimore all day. Lattimore frustrated, throw flags at him. It was awesome. It was a party of an NFC Championship game yesterday. Very little stress, very little angst. They just showed their dominance, and that all year long, this team has been a dominant football team, right? Up front, showing its will, winning on the trenches. They did so. Jaden Daniels never got comfortable. Jaden Daniels, who's going to be a superstar in the league, right? They took care of Jaden Daniels. They frustrated him. They kept him caged in. They played great defense, and it was never really in doubt. It was a show of incredible dominance. So right off the bat, Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie. All right, let's start at the top, because this is their 3rd Super Bowl in 8 years. 2 different coaches, 6 different coordinators. I mean, think about that for a second. The fact that they've done this thing with 2 different coaches and all the different coordinators in just 8 years, right? This isn't Belichick and Brady, right? Or Andy and Mahomes. They've done it using different coaches and a slew of coordinators. Pretty impressive, man. 2 different quarterbacks. I mean, it's just a display of greatness, really, of sheer dominance from the NFC and what the Eagles have done being in it. Just they're always in it. And the fact that they're punching the Super Bowl to play the Chiefs again in the rematch was just incredible. Sirianni, right? Think about what he has accomplished. Right now, he goes back to the Super Bowl. The record is ridiculous. The double digit win seasons, playoffs in his first year, Super Bowl in his second year, 10-1 in his third year. There's the slide, and then they come back with this season. 2 new coordinators come in. Everything works perfectly. The great signing of Barkley. They identify what they are. They're a run team, a downhill, take your will type of team. And they took Washington's will again yesterday by dominating up front with the best offensive line in football, getting after Daniels, right, with that young D-line. Played great defense in his secondary. Quinyon, another pick. All right. How about that one, too? That was a thing of beauty. It was such a display. And Sirianni's just pulled all the right things. Like, it seems unfathomable that in week 5, during the bye week of week 5 of this NFL season, everyone was thinking about, well, is Sirianni's job in trouble? And you want to talk about running the ship and brilliant coaching, to buttoned up, keeping this thing all together on the tracks, the road to dominance and the road to New Orleans. I mean, it's just been one week after another where they flex. It's just a thing of beauty. It's Philadelphia's football dream to win like this, to win with overpowering your opponent, to win by physical dominance over your opponent. It's a great Philadelphia story. And it gets even better that they play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl to enact the revenge, to stop the three-peat. Again, I'll use the analogy of Rocky II, because that's what this whole thing is going to be. All right? The Andy Reid Bowl, Roman numeral 2, the rematch. Well, again, Rocky wins the rematch. We'll talk about that game coming up, but we have to party. We have to celebrate what happened yesterday. And listen to me. These things, and I know sometimes it feels like, well, you know, we've been there now, and it's 3 times in 8 years. It never gets old. It never gets old. This is a time where you just enjoy all of it. Right? We spend so much time talking about them, right? All off season long, living through the story of the season. Embrace this. Embrace through your family and your friends. Embrace this whole thing. These are memories. This is the joy of being a sports fan. It's every bit of what we are as a city, as a community, from this team. It's just beautiful. And enjoy every second of it. Every second of this journey, enjoying it, leading up to the game in 2 weeks in New Orleans. Wow. Man, this is something. Good morning, VG.
What's up, brother?
Oh, my God.
I don't even know what to say. I apologize if I stink. I'm in the same clothes as yesterday. I probably smell like beer, hugs, joy, tears, Broad Street.
So tell me about Broad Street. You were on Broad Street last night.
I was on Broad Street. Yeah. You know, the mayor, I don't know what she's doing. She's dividing Broad Street up so you couldn't just do one straight through up and back. They make us walk up 15th Street and jammed in. But other than that, it's just a sea of happiness and joy. The tailgates were unbelievable yesterday. I think I texted you. The vibe down there was just fun and having a good time. And Broad Street was nice last night. It's just, I don't know what to say, what to do. You know,
well, you know what it is too. Like,
unbelievable.
When we sell it, there is no greater city that celebrates victories, right? Like, there's no greater city where the outpouring of love, because we're so emotional, right? The emotion of love, strength is what comes when you have all these people, all these human beings together for a common goal. It's just beautiful. I mean, look at that. I mean, nobody celebrates like we do. And it's just a thing of love, man.
Yeah, man.
It's a great connection. It's amazing. And this is what sports, this is the greater power of sports. I mean, throughout my career, the one thing that I've always went back to, it's been a central theme, is the joy of togetherness and the joy of victory and what sports can do to a community.
Dude, it's like I've heard Go Birds 1,340 times, and it doesn't get old.
No.
I walked from like Front and South Street down south of Broad Street, every car honking, screaming at you. It's an amazing time. The next 2 weeks, we just got to have some fun with this.
Oh, it's CAGLES for the next 2 weeks. It's just
and it just played
incredible.
Who knew? Who knew Commander fans are lamer than Vikings fans? Hey, are you kidding me with these guys?
They started with the Rocky statue. When will these idiots learn? You don't touch the statue. The statue is pristine, man. The statue, it means something to us, right? So you deface it, and that's what you get.
They come in,
ass whooping,
and they Tailgate Ted. I learned his name is. He runs their trips. He's he acting like the dude from Braveheart that he took over the Hard Rock Cafe at 8th and Market. That the only people who go there are tourists staying at the Lowe's across the street.
Well, that was great.
He's like, this doesn't happen. We took this place over. It's like, we have a Hard Rock? Like, what?
It's funny. My buddies were saying that. Do we have a Hard Rock? Like, on Saturday night? Like, nobody goes there. In fact, that was one of the places that was going to get knocked down because of when they put the new arena, if they were going to put the new arena there. Like, it's a non-Philadelphia place. Nobody goes there. It's not true to Philadelphia. It's an embarrassment, to be honest with you. So it's good you had your little nowhere bar that nobody cares about.
What are they taking over next? Chili's?
Applebee's? Oh, my God.
Your guy's name is Tailgate Ted. Andrew, I sent you a thing. Someone got him leaving the ball game, and it's amazing. They're just like, Alicia took over the Hard Rock. He's doing the walk of shame out. They're like, Alicia took over the Hard Rock. This guy, Tailgate Ted.
TG Ted. That's phenomenal, man. That's absolutely phenomenal. That's great, man. What?
Steamrolled, brother. Steamrolled.
Let's go. Listen, you were proven correct. You thought it would be a rout.
They stink.
And what's amazing is how the game starts out, right? Because, like every big game, you enter the game tense. I don't care if you're a 10-point favorite. If it's the NFC Championship game, you're on edge. I had a knot in my stomach the size of a boulder, right? Like, I was just like, oh, my God, I'm playing it out. I feel good, but Jalen's D. And all these, the ghosts of the past are whispering in your ear.
Yeah.
Right? They're whispering in your ear. And you go, all right. And then the game starts. And they're picking up fourth downs, right? Third down. Like, they had their drive. They were eating clock up.
Yep.
And you go, oh, man, I don't like the way it's starting, right? Like, you go look up, it's 3-0.
But that field goal felt like a win after that drive.
It did.
I was like, they only got 3 out of that?
Yeah. 18 plays?
Yeah.
Like, it was unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
You go, I agree. It felt like a win, too. Like, 18 plays. But still, like, you go, oh, man, is this what this is going to be like, a bloodletting? But it was the Barkley home run that unleashed it. And he is, all right, we want to talk about MVPs and great players that have come through Philadelphia, consummate pros, gentlemen. He's every accolade I can think of. He's so unique.
Oh, dude, the way he celebrated Shipley's touchdown. He's the first on the field out there. He's so joyous looking.
He's the greatest, dude.
Yeah.
When you said that, it's funny. I said the same thing. After Shipley's run, and he's out there, Saquon Barkley, bless your heart, you are the best gift to Philadelphia since the Liberty Bell.
Yeah,
man.
there's no one happier for Shipley than Saquon right there.
Of all the great free agent, like signing, all that stuff, Johnny Bonds, shoot the ball, Johnny Bonds. Of all the great gifts to Philadelphia, Moses, right? Moses, right? Barkley's the best.
He's been the most fun. He's just, and we heard it all week. We heard everything. They're going to load the box. They're first play of the game. Load the box. Here we go. This is what they do. You can't stop it.
You can't stop. You can't stop it.
I know we respect Spags. He's your boy, but I mean, good luck. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be him, but we'll see.
Well, but here's the thing, too, and this is what heartens me, is that James Cook had success running the football last night.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, that touchdown where he lunges, wow, man. That's just.
And his hand is on the ground, not his forearm.
Yes.
I mean, on fourth down, the reach over was unbelievable.
It's not like any other sport, because that's just pure will. Like basketball, you need to get it in the hoop. Baseball, you got it. Like that's just pure will.
Yes.
That was a great.
That's why we love the sport. That's why we love the sport. The sport is the greatest. It's just the greatest sport.
You know who's salty on, a friend of the show? B. Mitch. Oh, my God, on Twitter. Just going off about the referees and how they handed the bird. It's a wrap. They won by 32 points.
Referees.
B. Mitch was so salty on Twitter.
We got to get him on the show, because how could you blame the referees for an ass beating? Like, no, I mean, all kidding aside, the Eagles dominated that football game. They were really never in it. They couldn't stop the Eagles. When you impose your will and score on the ground like they scored on the ground, are you like, how in the world, what possibly could you complain about? The tush push? Like, what do you mean?
Oh, that Frankie Lou.
Right? Like, what possibly could you complain about?
Mitchell might have taken it down. I can't find it now. He may have taken it down. It was bad. It was a bad look.
What was he saying?
He was complaining about the referees. I forget what call it was.
Complain about referees?
It might have been the call, the Saquon personal foul out of bounds. I think he was going off on that.
Oh, stop. All right, big deal. One play that was borderline, one flag.
Right.
I mean, are you kidding me? There was the Eagles exude, and this is not just Homer. The Eagles exuded dominance, utter dominance. I mean, are you kidding me?
With a backup center.
By the way,
it's a little sketchy, but those two dudes killed it.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, not for nothing. You want to talk about wearing your heart on your sleeve. You want to talk about just incredible display of will.
Yeah. Warriors, like 1970s. Like,
yeah,
this should be,
man. Limping.
Yeah.
Right? Banged up. Limping. Right? Blah.
Barely walk on the sideline.
Right? The most physical game in the world. Oh, my God.
Here. I got B. Mitch tweeted at the NFL. Sean Hockley and his whole crew is disgracing the NFL. If you care about integrities, please don't let him and his crew referee a Commanders or Eagles game again. His BS is obvious.
Are you kidding me?
Mitch.
Seriously. I mean, that's ridiculous. How in the world can you think about that? I mean, seriously. Oh, my God. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. How in the world could you possibly complain about that?
Dude, can we also Jordan Davis with that sack on the first possession in the second half?
Yeah,
wow, man.
By the way, all right, so the game is still within reach. You can say whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
But there's a 3 and out to start the second half. You go, all right.
Yeah, because this should have been the nail in the coffin kind of.
Right. Because remember, you give them 3 at the end of half, right? The fact that they got a field goal with 29 seconds and no timeouts was a win for them. Like you were talking about feeling like a win. I was like, man, all right, still 12, but you didn't need to give up that 3. Right. And then, they go 3 and out. And then Jordan Davis burrowing through right up the gut.
Yes.
Right? The big guy.
Dude.
I mean, seriously, can we just the job that Howie Roseman's done.
Phenomenal.
I mean, are you kidding me?
Phenomenal. I mean, I don't know if there's ever been a turnaround like this in the NFL.
I mean,
and it's not like he went and got a new quarterback. I mean, same quarterback.
I mean, but the fact that he's been in 3 Super Bowls now.
I mean, the 2 of them.
Like, and rebuilt them.
Yeah, the 2 of you can't. The Nick's been there now. He's got a new offensive coordinator every year. I mean,
it's amazing. Anyway, you get that sack was everything, because at that point, momentum, as much as we were going, it felt like they were up 30. I think Kevin Burkhardt said it too. Yeah. Like they were up, feels like the Eagles are up 30, yet it's only a 12-point game.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden, Washington's got the ball.
And they're feeling good. They got the field goal. They got a stop. They're feeling good.
Early third quarter.
Yep.
And that's why that sack was huge.
It was a monster sack in every way.
And the other thing too is they don't turn the ball over,
right?
And they create turnovers.
They create turnovers.
Special teams, defense, they just create them.
Commander fans like, well, when we give the ball away, it's like, no, you didn't give the ball away. No. They forced this ball out.
And again, that's what they do. That's a hallmark of that defense and special teams. It's a couple weeks in a row now that you've gotten special teams turnovers.
Yep.
Those fumbles. Like, that's a big deal.
Big deal.
Yeah. That's everything. My God. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Here's a great little... Dude, we pulled our starters. In the championship game, they pulled their starters. Kenny Pickett is now have more NFC game appearances than Dak Prescott.
The human victory cigar, Kenny Pickett.
I love it. I love it, man. I do. And they do it with the physicality of up front. What's funny? I was talking to my buddy Tooch. I said, he called me early and we were just talking about the game. How you feel? I go, yeah. I go, here's the one thing that makes me feel really good is that they're the better team up front on both sides, like the trenches. That trench thing is just real. Like, and they're better. They're better on the O-line. I mean,
they're better than everybody.
They are. They really are
better than everybody.
Here's Landon Dickerson sliding over, right? Gutting it out. And then Cam Jurgens comes in after Landon has to and guts it out with the back.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that he's like, no. Don't, I'll be an emergency. Don't make me inactive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was a big deal.
It's the whole mentality and state of mind that Nick's got going on. And dude, Stoutland is just...
Stoutland's the great.
There's no even words for him at this point.
And Fangio. I mean, like what they've done to that defense. I mean, like...
And even on that Shipley run.
How about Zach Bond, too?
Look how his life. They're interviewing him afterwards. He's got a 10-month-old baby.
Yeah.
He's going to the Super Bowl. He's in finalist for Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, my God. Zach Bond. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? It's incredible.
I mean, that's just... I mean, you want to say it's pure luck, but I guess you got to give props to Fangio for developing him and turning him into what he is right now.
That's not pure luck, man. That's impressive stuff right there. All right, lots to get to. We're gonna celebrate today. Zach Berman, the other ZB, right, is going to join us coming up shortly. We'll talk to the brain, get an early Super Bowl line, and of course, Kevin Negandhi, our dear friend. We want to celebrate with Kevin today. We got plenty of time leading up to getting to the X and O's of the Chiefs and everything else. Let's celebrate today, man. It was so incredible. Such great stuff. All right. Let's talk about our good friends at Ace. Tell us about Ace, baby.
I would love to. Ace Hardware Home Services. The people with that great local hardware store. Well, now they're bringing the greatness of the store to your home to help you out with those stressful home repairs. You got a leaky pipe at Ace Hardware Home Services. They're around the block with everything to fix it, including the right people to do it. You got a heating issue. They got a person for that. You got a faucet that's leaking, that's been leaking, that you can't get right. Well, they got a person for that too, because now Ace is not just the helpful hardware folks. Nope, they're the helpful home service repair folks. That's right. They come right to your house with people you can trust, seasoned pros who will get everything you got going righted. From plumbing to heating and cooling, they got the trusted pros to keep your house humming all year long. Ace Hardware Home Services. They're bringing the helpful home, the helpful you love from the store, down to your front door. Visit Ace Hardware Home Services online, www.acehardwarehomeservices.com, to get started on your next home project and to take all the stress away.
All right, and let's talk about Golden Nugget Jewelers. It's where Philly gets engaged. Golden Nugget. That's it. Golden Nugget Jewelers. All right. Valentine's Day's coming up, and where you might want to go to New Orleans. Celebrate, man. Make sure you get the good gift for your girl. All right, it's the perfect place for all the great romantic gifts, birthdays, anniversaries. I don't know, maybe you're popping the question. Well, my man, your own at Golden Nugget Jewelers, 8th and Chestnut, in the heart of Jewelers Row, Center City, has got the unmatched selection of certified diamonds. All right, they got the designers to core for all of the great, to make the engagement ring pop, to make her melt. You got to go to Golden Nugget Jewelers, goldennuggetjewelers.com. Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. All right, now joining us. Cannot wait to talk to this man. The Locker Room Report, brought to us by Valley Forge Tourism. Make it Mott go. That's it, man. All right. The one, the only, from the old PHLY Birds, the insider, Z-Bird, Zach Berman, on the way to the Super Bowl. Third time in 8 years, Z-Bird.
Good morning. Yeah, heading to New Orleans. Looking forward to it. I expected this is not a surprise to me. When you look at how this team's played all year, really since the bye, but going into the year, we were talking about this being a Super Bowl caliber team during the summer. This is not an underdog story. This is not a nobody believes in us story. This is a heavyweight that played like a heavyweight yesterday.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're talking about a team that was there 2 years ago, a team that was 10-1, a team that exuded dominance all year long. I mean, let's face it, right? This has been such a magical season.
Yeah,
they haven't trailed by more than by double digits at all in the fourth quarter. Like, they just been, other than the one game against Tampa where there was no AJ and Devontae, they have been just a dominant team. And they won with the same sort of dominance on the ground, right? Running game and defense, and an offensive line emboldened, right? When you look at Dickerson, who's got one leg, walking like Fred Sanford, right? You got the bad back, Cam got the bad back, and they both gutted out. And that line was incredibly dominant, as always.
You're right. Those are tough guys, right? Like you talk about toughness, but you see it in the locker room. You see the way Cam Jurgens is walking. You see the way Landon Dickerson's walking. It took a lot for Cam Jurgens to play. He was the emergency guy, and they had to go to the emergency situation. And you saw him gut it out there in the second half. Sounds like he'll be good to go 2 weeks from now in the Super Bowl. But you're right. This is, I was saying going into the game yesterday, I didn't understand why there was sentiment that the Commanders were going to upset them. I thought there was a better chance of a blowout than an upset. And the main reason was I thought the Eagles were better all around, but I thought the Eagles were so much better on both lines of scrimmage. And you saw that on both lines of scrimmage. And maybe it's because
yesterday. I said, you know what makes me feel good is that where the game is played, where the game is won, the Eagles are superior. And then there was no Deron Payne, right? That made a difference, but still, again, key player for them. They were without Cosme, and the Eagles, both lines were already better than Washington, and both of their fronts got weakened.
Exactly, and I think that's what can't be diminished, and that's what it's a credit to. Obviously, the players. It's a credit to the coaching staff. It's a credit to Howie Roseman for the roster he assembled on both lines of scrimmage here. That they are loaded, and those guys are built the right way. But they're just simply better, and they go into most games better than the other team on the line of scrimmage. It's not a surprise that they run the ball so well. It's not a surprise that they stop the run so well, right? They're a well-built team. That's my prevailing sentiment. Is they put up 55 points yesterday, and had one of the more dominant performances you can imagine, and it shouldn't surprise anyone. Like, I don't want to say that's the expectation, but it's almost like the standard that they can play well every week.
The standard. It's well put, Zach. Well put. That is their standard. And then let's kind of dive deeper, because the MVP of this whole team, once again, the Commanders start the game off with that 18-play drive. All right? And even though we were talking about it felt like a win when they settled for 3, it was still an 18-play drive in which they bled clock, and that was their formula, right, to do it, to be able to pull off an upset. That's what they wanted to do. And then the Eagles get the ball, and the MVP hits another home run. You want to talk about Reggie Jackson and a Mr. January? I mean, Saquon Barkley hits more home runs, and that home run set the tone. All of a sudden, it felt like, oh, let's exhale, man. We got the big run. We got all of a sudden back in front, and you could see it. I mean, that was a knockout punch to start the game.
You're absolutely right. And once that happened, you saw the kind of day it was going to be. And the home run hitting is a good way to put it because it changes the game. One play, 60 yards. And we've seen that time and time and time again this season. You know, he's had 4 touchdown rushes of over 20 yards against Washington this year. You look against the Rams, he has 3 of over 50 yards. I've never seen a running back like him. You know, I covered LaShawn McCoy, and I thought LaShawn McCoy was the best running back I've ever seen in terms of covering. You know, I watched Barry Sanders when I was a kid, but what Saquon can do from a home, you know, the way he explodes through that hole, the explosiveness, the speed. He has everything you could want in a running back, and he's also wired the right way too. And it just makes you think he was wasted for 6 years in New York, and here he is, and you're seeing this come to fruition. And I personally think Saquon's going to be he's going to be the darling in New Orleans. He's already a star, but his Q rating is he's gonna become a transcendent figure in New Orleans.
Well, by the way, he should be a face of the NFL regardless because he's a gentleman. We were talking about it, VG and I were talking about how when Shipley scores the touchdown, the first person running off the field to greet him is Barkley. Like, the dude is just a gentleman in every way. He's lovable. He does the right thing. He's an awesome, he's everything you dream about. By the way, he should be the pitchman, Mahomes and all these other guys, right? Like, Barkley should be up there getting all those national deals, being everywhere, because he's that great of a dude and a great transcendent player.
You're right. I mean, he's a joy to watch. He's charismatic. He's wired the right way. Everything you hear, just an incredible teammate. You know, I see it firsthand, and you always wonder when you sign a high profile player. And I talked to Saquon about this a few times during the summer. How does he mesh into the locker room, right? Because this is a locker room with established leaders. This is a locker room with established cultures. And he said yesterday, he said he bought into everything because he was talking about how he feels the pain that these guys felt 2 years ago. Like, he wasn't there 2 years ago, but he wants to win the Super Bowl for these guys who lost it 2 years ago. He's totally bought into the team, to the culture. He's well liked. He's respected. I think wired the right way is the way I would put it.
Yeah, and let's talk about Jalen, because Jalen was fantastic yesterday. A couple of great throws to AJ, right? And he was able to move. I guess the biggest surprise I had, because the biggest worry I had going to the game was, can he move, right? Like, will he be able to move? And he looked good. He looked like he had no limitations.
You're correct about that. And he, during the week, I was curious too. I know he was dealing with an illness as well later in the week. You could hear it in his voice when I spoke to him on Friday. But I thought he was going to be playing with a brace. I thought he was going to struggle moving around. That was not the case at all. And you're right about the throws and then the way he managed the game. Jalen Hurts has thrown 1 interception since Tampa Bay. Think about that. Like, you have to go back since the start of October. He's thrown 1 interception. The Eagles were +4 yesterday. It's not a surprise. And so Jalen, he made the exceptional plays, of course, but he also he manages the game well. He takes care of the ball. He said Nick Sirianni took the straitjacket off him yesterday. I'm not sure what he meant there. I do know he's been playing conservative.
Because that's the one thing I was curious about. It sounds like, I mean, he was a little embittered by it, right? That the fact that he wasn't able to play quarterback. I mean, I felt like it sounded like he felt like, well, you didn't allow me to make plays, right? It allowed me to play quarterback. You put me in that straitjacket. What do you hear about that?
Yeah, so you look at those first 4 games, and the Eagles coaches looked at it, and the players looked at it. They felt turnovers were their biggest problem during those games. They had multiple turnovers. They were in the red the whole time, and the big emphasis during the bye week was don't turn the ball over. Don't turn the ball over. That they have that they have so much talent on the team. There's this way of winning. Don't turn the ball over. And you saw the way they played was different, and it was effective. But look, Jalen, he's sincere and he's earnest when he says he just wants to win, right? And the standard's winning, and I agree with that. But Jalen also wants to be the reason why they win, right? He's a prideful guy.
Sure.
He's so I think that's natural when you're the franchise quarterback and you've seen it happen before. And so that comment, I was a little surprised by it in that moment, but look, he's in the winner's circle an awful lot. 2 of the past 3 years, he's been smoking that victory cigar in the corner locker after the NFC Championship game. That says something.
Yeah, no, it does. And by the way, AJ's just killed Lattimore, killed him.
Yeah.
Like that was a great matchup. Like you were talking about a subplot in the game. The AJ Lattimore got chippy, right? And AJ he's the best, man.
Yeah, that fourth down play down the left sideline, that was huge. At that juncture in the game, that was huge. And AJ, like I've been saying all year, is that I'm not an offensive coordinator, but if they ever asked me for advice, I would say throw the ball to number 11, because good things happen when you throw the ball to number 11. And I think you saw that.
Yeah, I mean he was that fourth down play. I got to tell you, that was Stone's. That was Kellen Moore called that play. That was Stone's.
Yes.
Because I started to think about it and went, I might have punted.
I wouldn't have punted. Yeah, I like going for it on fourth down, but I don't know. I don't always love that play there, but they've done it before. They've closed games out that way. When they see man coverage on the outside with AJ Brown, they want to go to AJ Brown. And AJ Brown, he had late hands on that play like he always does, and he just won his matchup.
Did Jalen change the play? Did he audible?
I will find out. I don't have that.
I thought he did. I'll be honest with you. I thought he audible to it.
Okay, yeah. I will look into that and find out.
Yeah, I want to go back and look at it, but I thought he did. And then defensively, I mean, Jordan Davis, big play for Jordan Davis. When the game, it's a 12-point game. Washington got a stop. They got the 3 before halftime. That was a monster sack by the big kid.
You're absolutely right. Second sack of the year. Look, he's not on this team to rush the quarterback, but you saw it there. And yeah, from a situational perspective, that was huge. There were multiple points in that game where you wondered, all right, is Washington going to call back in? Is Washington going to make this a 1-possession game? And yeah, he stepped up there in a big way. I thought defensively, the guy that keeps jumping out though is Zach Bond.
Oh my God, without a doubt.
Like the way he's punching at the football, forcing the turnovers. It makes you think this is what linebacker play is supposed to look like. But he was superb, and the turnovers to me were the difference. And the Eagles scored 28 points off those 4 turnovers. They capitalized on each of them. But yeah, you're right about Jordan Davis. I mean, Jalen Carter was a menace in there.
Nolan, a beast.
Nolan Smith.
I love that. And you want to talk about lining up wide. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, he was on. You were talking about he was on Broad Street where he was lined up.
Yeah,
and he got home, man. And Jaden Daniels never got comfortable. He was never comfortable. No. They did a fabulous job at caging him in. Baldy talks about the cage rush. And I thought they put down the cage, man.
Yeah, Fangio, he keeps showing up too, right? Every week he has these guys ready to go. They were disciplined in it. They're so sound, and that's what you heard from the Washington locker room too, in terms of the way these guys are always in the right spot. And so whether it's rushing, whether it's coverage, you very seldom find the Eagles out of position. That's a credit to Vic Fangio.
Well, a couple things. One, we talked about Howie and the job that he's done, and you think about Jeffrey Lurie and those two, and the fact that this is their third Super Bowl in 8 years with two different coaches, with 6 different coordinators. I mean, it's a pretty impressive thing that they've done.
You're right, and you can talk about them both individually. You can talk about them together with Howie, and I've heard Howie say this: like, their best seasons are often his best seasons. And so the AP announces their awards last week, or the award finalists. The NFL honors will be in New Orleans in 2 weeks. Offensive Player of the Year and MVP candidate Saquon Barkley. Defensive Player of the Year candidate Zach Bond. Rookie of the Year candidates Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. Assistant Coach of the Year candidate Vic Fangio. Every one of those guys came in this offseason. Howie had an outstanding offseason. C.J. Gardner-Johnson has been a difference with it. Like, you go on
with his attitude, right? Toughness. He's played really well. Slay has played terrific. I mean, whew.
Yeah, like I've brought up the job Howie's done, and people say, "What about Bryce Huff?" or what about the Jahan Dotson trade? And look, you're gonna miss some. This roster. Oh. This roster is the envy of the NFL. Like there are from 1 to 53. I don't know if there's a better roster now. I mean, Kansas City has Mahomes, and Brett Veach has done an outstanding job there, and I love what the Ravens have done and the Bills have done, the Lions have, but like this Eagles roster, they are loaded. And when I talk to people elsewhere, that's the first thing that comes up is like just the amount of talent they have on both sides of the ball, the lines of scrimmage especially. Howie does, and his staff. It's not just Howie, but Howie and his staff does a great job managing the cap. Able, you look at that at their offensive line: Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Lane Johnson, all paid top of the market money. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, top of the market money. Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, top of the market money. There are teams in the division, the Dallas Cowboys, who say they can't do X because of the cap. The Eagles, they're aggressive. They're aggressive in how they structure contracts. They're aggressive in how they acquire talent. There's a reason why this is their third Super Bowl in 8 years.
Yeah.
Zach, you usually have a good read on what's going on in the locker room, like beneath the words we're all hearing, and we know BG looks like he may be coming back. Like, he was playing great before he got hurt.
Yeah.
He'd be a huge upgrade over Bryce Huff. How realistic do you think that he's going to be activated and contributing?
Yeah, I'm expecting that to happen, VG. Like I asked Brandon yesterday, and he said, we'll find out tomorrow, tomorrow being today. There's a part of me that wonders if he's just waiting to announce it on his radio show, right? But he's preparing for life after football too, right? But everything I've been hearing this past month is if they get there, watch out for number 55. And he didn't deny it yesterday, and I think if it wasn't going to happen, you'd hear more, hey, chill with this, cool with this. I think this is going to happen. I haven't been told it's going to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's news today that Brandon Graham's coming back.
Also, you saw the locker room celebrations, but do you get the vibe that there's still focus, more work to be done?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, the one expression I heard, and there were people behind the scenes who would come up to me and say, one more, right? One more. That's a big thing. And you heard leaders on the team say it. I asked Nick because there was one point in time where I saw Nick just like standing there in the locker room, and Nick doesn't usually walk through the locker room as much. Once he speaks, he's kind of back, and he was taking pictures, and I asked Nick what he was thinking about in that moment, He said he was thinking about the next game, which at first I thought it was coach speak, but then he said, because we felt that before, the NFC Championship locker room, they felt that before. It's about the next game right now, and I heard so many players bring that up. I heard behind the scenes people bring that up. Yeah, look, they were celebrating. You know, you had Gilly the Kid in there dancing. Like I said, you had Jalen Hurts popping the victory cigar. He likes to emulate Jordan. He had that Michael Jordan look to him. But to a man in that locker room, you kept hearing one more. And I remember Jeffrey Lurie saying 2 years ago, well, uno más. I didn't hear the Spanish this time, but I think that is the sentiment in here. And I think the fact that it's the Chiefs, it makes it tough because you don't want to see Patrick Mahomes in a championship game. But I think there's a lot of people in that locker room who want to avenge what happened 2 years ago.
Well, Rocky won the rematch, so
there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. I like that line.
You know, this is kind of where it is. Let's talk about Kansas City for a second, and it's the Andy Reid Bowl Roman numeral 2, man. This is interesting. Now, it's funny. The one thing I took away yesterday is Cook had a lot of success, had some decent success, right? And the Eagles. And Buffalo has a really good offensive line. Deion Dawkins. I mean, they're good. Eagles O-line is we talk about the best in football, and Barkley, who's better than Cook. So that heartens me when I think about, you know, maybe start there, success in the run game.
You're right. I do think that's going to be the approach, and you know, I'll defer to you on this. Spags is just such an outstanding defensive coordinator. He could put pressure on Jalen. I think you want to lean into the run. You saw what James Cook did, and I think that's going to be critical in this game. It's been the recipe for the Eagles all year. They've been able to run against teams that usually stop the run. When you're facing a team like this who can get after the quarterback, and Spags is such a good play caller. You saw that on the 4th down yesterday. That you want to stay ahead of the chains as much as you can. I think you're going to see more of a run-heavy approach in the Super Bowl. And by the way, like I was going to say not to take away from Miles Sanders. Certainly, you know, this. I mean, Miles Sanders can take this for what it's will. The Eagles are better at running back now than they were 2 years ago, like in a significant way. So that to me is a big difference in this game. Is Saquon simply a better player and changes the offense in a way the Eagles didn't have 2 years ago.
The only thing that's changed from a negative standpoint is the rule, right? Is the illegal man downfield calling those rules on the RPO. That's the only change. But everything else comes up Eagles, right? Like from last year, from 2 years ago.
Yeah, but they still got Mahomes. And that's the thing. It's like,
I mean, dude, listen, I mean, you know, both of them, I was texting with both those guys earlier. You know, just in a fun, can't wait rematch. Yeah. And I hate Andy with a Rocky too. He was laughing, you know, like, you know, they're great. I mean, they are. But is there any way, the beauty is the country will be rooting for us, I think. I mean, people have Chiefs fatigue.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Sure.
So everybody's going to be rooting for us. And it's, you know, the three-peat's never been done. And, you know, this got great theater written all over it, man.
Yeah. And I think you are right. I think there is some Chiefs fatigue. I do think had the Bills won that game, the Bills would have been, you know, the team that America was pulling for. But I think that I know there's a lot of people in that building who wish that Jalen had the ball last, right? Like really had the ball last time against the Chiefs. You know, he had the Hail Mary at the end, but had a chance to have that final drive. I say that I know Josh Allen had that opportunity last week, but I think like, you know, the Eagles, you don't want Mahomes to have the ball last, and that's what I think. You see what Kansas City's done this year in one possession games, all they do is win. Never out of it.
You don't have to tell me. All they do is win.
But I was in Minnesota. When you said the same thing about Tom Brady. That you don't want to see Tom Brady if the ball lasts. And
exactly.
All the Patriots do is win. And the Eagles won that night. So, yeah. So it's we have 2 weeks to talk about it.
We took care of Brady. Yep. Let's take care of Mahomes. You know, I love that.
It's all I've wanted.
I
want this so bad.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Real quick, what's the schedule this week? Do you have that yet?
No, I have a bunch of texts that I see right here. So I think that it's going to be a quiet day today. They're going to be practicing for, going on this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is my guess. They head out to New Orleans, I think Sunday. So I'll have more information a little later in the week, but I think today they're letting the coaches and players take a breath a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Zach, before you go, can I just ask, what's your favorite thing to eat at the Hard Rock Cafe in Philly?
Yeah, God, man, I've never been to the Hard Rock. I used to walk to the Inquirer's offices on 8th and Market, and I walked by every day, and I remember thinking, because I had lived in Grad Hospital at the time, I would walk by there, and I'm thinking, who's going to the Hard Rock when there's all these good restaurants here in Philly? But apparently the people who are going are Commanders fans, right?
Yeah, they are.
Well, it's a joke too. Like the best is, we had Philly Rock. You remember Philly Rock?
Yeah,
Delaware.
Love that.
Right? Like it was Philly. Like nobody cares about it. Nobody cared about that place. Yeah. Stop. It was horrible. Great stuff, Z-Burb. 2:00 today.
Appreciate it. Yeah, 2:00. I'm in studio with Bo.
Look forward to it. Cannot wait. We'll be watching.
Talk to you then.
See you, buddy. Big couple of weeks. Let's take care of some business. Then we got the brain, and then we're going to celebrate with Kevin Negandhi. It is with a little true mark action, my man.
Ooh.
Kelly,
people are all fired up at True Mark
today. I
today.
to Kelly yesterday. She was fired up. She's freaking out. Kelly Body's CEO, True Mark. A great Philadelphia company.
They are. And, credit unions, they're kind of a no-brainer compared to the big banks. They're like a community. But in addition to that, TrueMark's got this really cool program going on for your kids because we know it's really important. Your kids, when they grow up, they have some kind of fiscal sense of responsibility. They know how to save and all that stuff. So TrueMark's got the ultimate playbook for teaching financial responsibility with their Greenlight account. The Greenlight account comes with the Greenlight app, and that's kind of changing the game, the way you can help kids and teens learn how to earn, save, and spend wisely. They can set up saving goals, track their spending, and you can actually pay their allowance all through the app. They check some stuff off. You send the money to them, and it's all right there in this cool app. And here's the super cool part. If you didn't think it could get any cooler, each kid gets their own debit card, which they can use to make their own purchases, learn real-world money skills, and feel like mini adults while you stay in control of everything from the phone so they can't get crazy with their debit card. You get the peace of mind, and they get the freedom to make smart decisions with their money. It's like coaching your kid through their very own financial game. And for TrueMark Financial members, this cool program is totally free. So now's the perfect time to introduce your kids to the Greenlight program. Get signed up today. Visit TrueMark.com/Greenlight for more information.
All right. Now let's talk about the BetPark Sportsbook online casino app. The Brain will join us, the ambassador. Don't forget, the early line, Birds, a 2-point dog. Total sits at 49.5. That's hot off the presses. All right. Now, with the app, you get all the super props, right? All the big-time, big-game props that you want. All right, player touchdowns and rushing yards and interceptions. You can bet more than the score, quarter, half, you name it. All right? And there's always another way to win on the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. All right? The only app we'll ever recommend on the show. Get some skin in the game, sports, and more. You got blackjack, craps, poker, roulette, hot online slots. That you can have some fun while you're watching the game, make your downtime fun time. Download the new BetPark Sportsbook online casino app. And in fact, new customers, if you're down in the first 24 hours, you get up to $1,000 casino bonus back. BetParks.com has all the details. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, Michigan, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Now joining us, the ambassador of the BetPark Sportsbook online casino app, the one, the only, the Brain.
Brain. Red, the Brain Finder.
Brain! You got a birthday NFC Championship game, buddy. Happy birthday. It was Brain's
Yeah,
birthday
listen,
yesterday.
Brain's birthday yesterday?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, happy birthday, Brain.
I appreciate it. I appreciate
Did
it,
you
man.
go on a
But
bender?
it was what's that?
You're usually clean shaven on Mondays. You go on a bender for your birthday?
No, I know. It's funny. It's funny you should say that. I actually normally am, but I was like, I didn't get back till late last night.
All right, let's
I
talk
don't
about
know.
the game.
But
He's talking about you being shaven. Nuts. Well, let's go. We're buried the lead. We're Super Bowl, Brain.
it was a great performance. And I texted you. I go, and VG, I know we talked about Jalen Hurts, and to me, that was the first time all year. Tell me if I'm wrong. When the quarterback played good, and when you see the quarterback play really well like that, like I'm talking, he played great. Like that was like 2 years ago, Jalen Hurts. They're unstoppable. When he plays like that, that is an unstoppable lineup. I mean, when he plays like that versus when we saw him some of his other games where they were just, you know what I mean? Like to me, that was when you see that, that's just perfection. I mean, Washington had no chance.
Yeah.
Washington had no chance. He was incredible, Jalen Hurts. He picked his best time of the year to have his best performance of the year. He was spectacular. Every decision was good. He played great. The offense was phenomenal. They made things hard for Daniels, who's incredible. I mean, Ertz obviously had a great game, whatever. But again, let the guy who's getting 7 yards a catch beat you versus the big plays, that one McLaurin play, whatever. But I thought the Eagles played a great game. Obviously, the turnovers, 4-0, wherever it was, made it that much more impossible. But and now, look, they could fix Jake Elliott. And that was the only, I guess, blemish you want to say. But just an incredible performance. Well-deserved. And I thought it was just, that was the way, Anthony, all year my hope was their offense would look. That was my hope because I'm like, God, they have the best receivers, the best running game, the best offensive line. Why won't this be a historically good offense?
Right.
And I thought yesterday was just an incredible performance. So happy for the fans that got to be there. I would have wished I could have been there. It was an incredible, nothing you can say other than just phenomenal performance.
So is the line where you think it should be?
I thought the line would be Kansas City between 2 and 2.5. I made a big bet on Kansas City pick'em at the open because I thought that line had to be at least 2. And I didn't understand why it was pick'em. So I did make a large bet on Kansas City for no other reason. I could flip it and make a profit. But look, the one thing we know about Kansas City, we'll talk about that game a little bit, guys. I was like, what do they do? What do they do? They're like that. They win, and it does. And I joined the evil empire. First time I think I've backed Kansas City in forever because I'm like, you know what? It's going to be nice to be on one side and finally have the team that doesn't mean it's what's going on in the game. They're just going to find a way to win the game. Doesn't make a difference. And they did it again. Buffalo's now sick. They do it to you every time where you feel like you're better or you have them beat. They just win the game. But the way the Eagles played yesterday, as I said, spectacular. That offense and that performance. If they could play like that, Anthony, on Sunday, when they play on against the Kansas City, I mean, look, if they can have that performance, I obviously think they should win. But that's the question. Can they have that kind of performance again? But that was just spectacular. And because Kansas City didn't have to face an offense like that, Buffalo doesn't have that kind of firepower that Philadelphia has.
Well, the other aspect is like when I looked at Cook having success again.
That was incredible. I'm glad you said that.
Against Kansas City's defense, I immediately think about Saquon, the Eagles' offensive line, as good, if not better than Buffalo, which has a good one. And Barkley obviously is one of the best backs in the league. And then you couple that with Jalen's ability to run and AJ on the outside, AJ Devontae on the outside. So, those Bills, you said it, they don't have – the Eagles have way more fun. The receivers are better. The running back is better. I mean, and they stressed the Kansas City defense.
The defense is better. Yeah, the defense. Look, I think the Eagles are better than the Bills, but what the Bills had was they just had, Superman playing quarterback. But, it's interesting is Anthony, I had the exact same takeaway as you. The exact same. I'm watching that game in the second half, and they were down, I think, 21-16. They got the stop, and they just went run. And there's nothing more deflating when a team just runs the ball down your throats. And I'm curious, when you speak to Spags this week, how was he feeling watching the team? And this wasn't like one 50-yard run like Barkley can do. This was 7 yards, 9 yards, 11 yards, 6 yards, 4 yards, 8 yards, 12 yards. We're just going to gash you, and you can't stop us.
And they did it, up the middle, right? Like did it between the tackles and outside. So they ran all over. They ran them between the tackles and on the edge, which, again, I feel good as from the Eagles' perspective. I feel good about that, man. I just think that the Eagles' offense with because you established Barkley.
Of course, Barkley's not getting this. I have no doubt.
I mean, again, I like the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to score.
Yeah, well, he's proven beyond, when the jury have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. There's no doubt Saquon Barkley's going to have a good. There's none, zero, unanimous jury selection. He's going to get his. No one can stop him. No one can stop this Eagles running game. And look, it's interesting. The one thing I really give Kansas City a lot of credit on, Anthony, I didn't think it was possible. I got to be honest. Having watched Buffalo all year, Allen on 3rd and 4th and 1s it was as good as the tush push. It really, he was unstoppable. They stoned him, Anthony, 4 times?
All night they stoned him.
It was incredible to watch.
Yeah.
To me, that was the key of the game.
Although I did think they picked up the one and they moved the ball back.
Yep.
Right?
Let me ask you a question. Did you think that was a first down or no?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
I'm the only one who didn't. I didn't think he got it, but everyone else.
He went underneath. Went underneath, and it looked like he got it. Even Gene Steratore. What do you think, Gene? Gene said he thought he got it by 2/3 of a football. I thought he did.
Oh, well, that's pretty significant.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, and then it's funny, that last play, Allen throws the ball and it went right in Kincaid's hand. My God. I mean, it was despite a great rush by Spags, a great call by Spags to put the pressure on. That was a great game. But listen, Anthony, you're right. Look, Philadelphia, if they play their game, I think they're the more talented team than the Chiefs. But again, to me, the question is, can we get one more game like Jalen Hurts had against them in the Super Bowl last year or 2 years ago? If they could do that, I think this is the best team, right? In the NFL. If they can get that Jalen Hurts performance, that to me is the key. We'll find out.
Rocky 2. Just remember what happened in the rematch. All right? Remember that.
So you're picking, Anthony. Are you picking Philadelphia?
I love the Eagles. Yeah, I think it's a rematch. I love the Eagles in a rematch. I go back to on both sides of the ball, both lines, they're the dominant team.
Brain doesn't like it.
And I got news for you.
Well, no, it's just
they're gonna. Kansas City's going to struggle to protect Mahomes.
It's just. Let me ask you a question, VG. I want the Chiefs to lose. I'm rooting hard for the Eagles. So let me just say that number 1, 2,
Who you
3.
betting?
But again, this Chiefs team, it makes me laugh. I've never seen a team that it keeps happening and happening and happening. You watch them, and it just doesn't make a difference. Do you remember the game NBA Jam? I don't know if you guys play that back in the day. I don't know anyone who used to play that game. Like if you were up by enough against the computer, they would just start blocking your shot and coming back regardless. It didn't make a difference. It was a computer program that made it like that. When I watch the Chiefs, I feel it's like a computer-enhanced program where they just.
Oh yeah, I mean we talk about the league and officials, everything else, but the Eagles
everything goes their way.
They beat Brady, and they're going to beat Mahomes. That's it, Brady. That's it.
Chiefs are a lucky team. They're a lucky team. I hate
they beat Brady. They're going to beat Mahomes. They got the antidote. It's the rematch. It's Rocky 2. That's it. I see it. Brain.
By more than one score? I don't
know. They're going to win. I like the Eagles to win. They're underdog. So I like an outright victory. Parade's happening. Brain, we'll see you at the parade, buddy.
Hey, listen. That's what I like to hear. We get that Jalen performance. I agree. Eagles win.
All right, buddy. Thanks, pal. We appreciate the Brain, the Bet Park Sportsbook, All Casino app. All right. This portion of the show is brought to you by Rite Aid. RiteAid.com to find the store and pharmacy nearest you. I want to celebrate with our friend today. One of the reasons why usually we talk to him on Wednesdays, but I wanted to celebrate with our buddy, man, because I can only imagine in the Negandhi household what it was like. Our friend, superstar, ABC, ESPN, the great superstar Kevin Negandhi. Kev! Super Bowl! Kev!
How amazing this run has been. Especially, man, we have talked about it for months here. It's just great to see the defense, man. Like, the defense was tremendous. And I can't wait, man. There's a handful of great storylines. I literally cannot wait to talk about it over the next 2 weeks. And we're going to take over New Orleans. You know that.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. This is the Eagle fans, Eagle Empire, I actually like that the Braves said. Taking over, they deserve New Orleans. After dealing with Minnesota in sub-zero temperature, and freaking Jacksonville, we deserve a little NOLA, right? We deserve a little Bourbon Street.
And Arizona, the Glendale is so far away from any atmosphere and environment, right? So you're 100% right. So it'll be great. And I got to tell you, like, just how they won, Jalen and the way he played, like, there's a lot of redemption. A redemption for Nick, redemption for Jalen. Like, it felt damn good to watch how that whole game played out the way it did, and they capitalized on every single turnover. And how about all the confidence that the Commanders fans had coming into that game? I will tell you, like, we're watching, me and my oldest one, my 12-year-old, we're watching the Chiefs-Bills game, and he's like, Dad, who do you want? I said, so let's break it down. And we talked about this whole thing. I said, if the Bills win this game, America will want the Bills to beat the Eagles. I said, but they've got Josh Allen, and that is really, really tough to stop. I said, but if we face the Chiefs, America wants all Philly, aside from like Dallas and D.C. and New York. Everybody will want to see the Mahomes, Andy Reid run come to an end here, right? But I also think that 15 is magic, man. And the one thing that scares me more than anything else is Spags blitzing and blitzing and blitzing and blitzing. And that offensive line's got to get healthy over the next 2 weeks, man. They got to figure it out, because if Spags just does these type of blitzes that he likes to give, mobile quarterbacks fits on, it'll be really tough, man. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to lose. I said it'll be one of those games, and
I know.
that's set up exactly
listen,
2 years
obviously,
ago.
right? They're an underdog. So your point is I feel the same way, right? Like, here's the only thing I like. Here's what I like about the matchup. This is why I think they're going to win. Eagles are going to win. One, they were vulnerable against the run. Like, we saw Cook run between the tackles and on the edges. All right?
Yep.
So, you know what? I love the guy, he's my friend, but in the next 2 weeks, obviously, right? They're impervious to Spags' blitz by running the football, right? Like, again, 3rd and 7, I fear Spags to death. But the beauty of the way the Eagles play it is they're not in 3rd and 7 a lot.
Yes, you're 100% right. I thought one of the things that really actually made my heart happy is how they used Dallas Goedert yesterday.
Yes.
They used him in so many short yardage situations where they're like, hey, we're going to hand him we're going to make him our
great defense.
And Nolan Smith, like, right?
Yeah.
Like, Nolan Smith is our Hassan Reddick.
Who's going to play?
Yeah. How amazing is that? It's just, and listen, one last go, and you're in the Super Bowl, dude. You don't think BG's going to be fired up? It's been great. Just we got to get Jurgens right. We got to get Landon right over the next 2 weeks. Keep our fingers crossed and all of that. How that plays out. But Jalen was phenomenal, man. Yesterday, his decision making. He did everything right. He made the right decision.
I think he audible. We're going to find out. But I thought on the play to AJ on 4th down, I thought he audibled that play. I'm not sure, but
if you see, to your point, Ed, he saw that one-on-one coverage when Lattimore went across.
Yeah.
And the one thing that Jalen's great at, and the problems sometimes we see with the breakdown is when it's 4 or 5 seconds holding the ball, you're indecisive. And Brady talked about this briefly. We saw how crisp they were.
Yeah.
When he makes a decision immediately and that ball's out within 2 seconds, good things happen, man. Good things happen. Especially now, they're better defensive backs with the Chiefs. Much better. Much better.
Yes.
So do they decide to go one-on-one? And then you got to make the throws in those one-on-one matchups. And Devontae and AJ got to win those battles.
Yeah, you nailed it. I think that's where the game is going to come. Like thinking about what knowing Spags and what he's going to want to do, he'll spy Hurts, and what he'll do is he'll try to focus to shut down the run, which means he'll play his corners on an island, and it's going to be that. It's going to be, can Jalen make that throw outside to AJ and Devontae? I agree. I think you're right on, because they do have good corners, and that's what it is. Getting back to the Eagles' defense for a second, the Chiefs' O-line is not great. They had to do some. They had to do some screwing around. Right? They kicked Tooney outside because they were worried about tackle. They were a little tender in the interior, and I love that, because again, that's where Carter is. Jalen, I love him. That's where the beast. That's where the beast lives.
When he was laying down, not getting up for a second, I was like, no.
I know.
Yeah,
I mean, that could be a big advantage for the Birds, Kev.
I agree. The concern that I have more than anything else, though, is 15 can move, man.
Yeah.
He is so deceptively good, and it is such an underrated part of his game that when he does it, and he killed us on that final drive 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
He killed us because everybody's all spread out.
Yeah.
And then he ran up the gut, right? And he's just so good at just picking up 5 to 8 yards, boom, 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 keeping plays going. That 15 scares the bejesus out of me. I think he scares the bejesus out of anybody. But again, Fangio's great, man. Fangio will be prepared. And shout out here. I want to give a shout out to VG. I think of all of us talking, VG was the only one that says, we're going to win in a blowout. We're going to win in a blowout. I was not anticipating that blowout.
Yeah, overrated. And I don't know if you were noticing a story for some of us down here where the Commanders came in trying to take over the city. Man, were they some weak fans. They're taking over restaurants nobody knows existed. They had their little corner of the tailgate. They were all chesty. They came in. The team played as weak as their fans were when they showed up.
Yeah. Let's go to the Hard Rock, where I've never heard one Philadelphian go.
It was wild. He gave such an impassioned speech when he was there. This doesn't happen in this town. We took this place over. It's like,
I love it. I love that, and I hope Chiefs fans go to the Rocky statue, because, come on,
they don't learn, Kev. They don't learn.
Crazy.
And in Rocky 2, Rocky won the rematch. All right?
Yeah. Yep. I love that. I heard you just talk about that with the brain. I love that little analogy that you got there. Let's hope we get a little Adrian speech, and then our guy, what are we waiting for? We're all ready to go, man. Let me tell you, let's chase some chickens, Anthony. Let's chase some chickens. Because that little snippet right there, man, where Mick is just sitting there waiting, and she does the win, man. There's nothing better, man. It's so ridiculous, and it's so amazing. Only Philadelphians know.
It's so stupid, but you know what? It doesn't matter, right?
It's the best. It's the freaking best. What are we waiting for? It's the best. It's the best.
I love it. I freaking love it.
Hey, real quick, couple things. One, get back to Mahomes for a second in the first Super Bowl. I still go, he got hurt, and it looked like a high ankle sprain. I to this day Still, what did they have? Padre Pio at halftime? Like, healing him? Like, all of a sudden, he came back and you said it about that run. And it got me thinking again, going, there's something about, they got to end that, man. They got to end this Mahomes thing for 1 year. I can't take it anymore.
They had literally Mr. Miyagi at halftime doing this.
Right?
To his ankle. Like, it was unbelievable because he could barely move. But, you know, that's what champions do, man. They rise. He's a champion. Like, he's unbelievable in that way.
Know.
Like, much respect to him. But guess what? Like you just said also, we took down Brady. And America was so grateful. Do you know I get that more than anything over the years? I get that from so many people when they hear that I'm an Eagles fan. They're like, just thank goodness that you guys won Super Bowl 52.
Yeah,
and, you know, and I think that's going to be the theme here. Wherever we go, hey, can we just stop this conversation for a little bit? We're just so tired of seeing 15. And how about Andy again, right? Like, it's just over and over and over again. But that's excellence.
We're still in Brady's head. He had to mention Foles.
I'm not joking.
Yeah, still in his head.
He said it yesterday. It was the greatest.
He can't escape him. No. And I thought Brady handled that really well yesterday. Yeah. I really thought, like, you got to address the elephant in the room. And obviously, the folklore got bigger and bigger because I was like, wait, he didn't shake his hand. He hasn't shaking his hand after any games. Like, and that just got bigger and bigger and bigger. So, like, sometimes you got to kind of poke fun at yourself and laugh and move on than just deny that it never happened, right?
Were you guys as irritated as I was at Nance during the broadcast? Well, we can't say 3P because Pat Riley. Let's do a Chiefs Pete or a 3 Chiefs. It's like, I'm so sick of this already, and it's just beginning. Just beginning. And Chiefs
ready.
Kingdom. What the heck? Chiefs Kingdom. No. Kings have kingdoms. Chiefs don't have kingdoms. Kings have kingdoms, not Chiefs Kingdom.
PG's already ready.
I can't wait to beat this squad. I can't wait. That turncoat, Taylor Swift. She's at the lake in the summer, like with her Eagles gear on. She ain't gonna be wearing any Eagles gear. She's a turncoat.
You're gonna call her a turncoat.
Yeah.
Stop. I gotta tread lightly in my house. I got an 8-year-old that thinks Taylor's the best thing in the world, but then she'll also tell me that, you know, on those games where they face the Chiefs, she's like, I don't like anything about that.
Yeah, that's where
good.
You need to sit down. You need to sit down and say, listen, Taylor doesn't like you. You're an Eagles fan. She doesn't like you.
Hey,
Sabrina Carpenter's an Eagles fan. Good music.
I don't think I could ever do that to my daughter.
Sabrina Carpenter. Hey, real quick, because I love the X and O of it, right? Like, because I love this. This sport is the greatest, man. It really is. So I go back to the Eagles defense and the secondary. Like, there's so many of these pieces that the Eagles have. Kelsey was a non-factor yesterday.
Yep.
Like, I go back to what Cooper has done in the middle of the field. Cooper played unbelievable yesterday.
He did.
Quinyon played great yesterday. I mean, other than the one McLaurin touchdown, they were really a non-factor. Nothing. De'Ami Brown did nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was the Zach Ertz underneath show.
Yeah. But and guess what? The Chiefs will beat you by a death by 1,000 cuts to find 87 over and over and over again. Like, that 10 to 15 yard slants, they were there, and they were Jaden Daniels.
Good point.
Us. I was scared out of my mind. I was getting really frustrated because Ertz knew that 1-on-1 matchup, and again, Travis Kelce's the same mold, right? He understands his makeup. And we took advantage of the Commanders' mistakes. Chiefs don't give us the ball 3 times. They won't cough up the ball.
No.
The most amazing play here, and I lost my mind. And my 12-year-old was like, Dad, chill. I was like, no, you don't understand how good this play is. It was in the fourth quarter on that drive by the Chiefs where they scored the touchdown. Mahomes, the Bills had two blitzers come in through the A-gaps, and their linebackers, right? And literally, Mahomes didn't even flinch. He was looking left. eyeing the safety there, kept the safety there, and then boom, threw it right across the middle to Juju Smith-Schuster. And I said, that's an unbelievable play. And Brandon, we watched it again. We rewound it. And I was like, why? I said, why? Because he held the safety over there. He knew the two blitzers came from the middle, so the gap is going to be right there. And then the last second bullet to Schuster. And that's my concern on keeping those drives extended for 15, 18 yards that are the backbreakers, right? Where you have a team in 3rd and 7, and Mahomes is like, boom, right in the middle. That's my concern.
I don't know that. I don't think that he's going to blitz. I mean, Fangio's not a blitzer, right? Mm-hmm. You know, and we saw the Chiefs as, listen, you mentioned that it was a great play, but we also saw the Chiefs sputter at times offensively. We saw, right? Like, we saw them get off the, I think Fangio's going to say, you're going to have to beat us with double-digit plays. Like, you're going to have to, and Eagles are good against the run. So, Hunt and Pacheco, that doesn't scare me. Listen, I'm with you. They're going to score, and I get it. But I think that they have a chance to really put them in a bag. Again, they caged Jaden Daniels. I think you can keep everything in front of you. The guy that worries me is Worthy, right? Like, Worthy is scary. But and special teams, like that kid in special teams is fast, right?
And he wants to return every kick, no matter what.
I know.
He thinks he can take it to the house.
So the special teams has been a bit iffy. So that's the only thing that scares me.
I'm glad you brought up Worthy. Worthy is very much like Kadarius Toney 2 years ago, right? And watch gadget plays. Watch you over pursue. Then we have the speed with one, and that's what killed the Eagles, right? They did a bunch of gadget misdirection that killed us, and Tony constantly killed the Eagles in keeping drives alive. 87 scares the bejesus out of me, and he always will, because he's just so good. He understands spacing, and whenever Mahomes needs a play, he's going to go to him. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with the Chiefs. The Chiefs haven't scored all season, I think more than 30 points, and yet they put up 32 points against the Bills. 32 points. I know. And because they find guys like Samaje Perine and then a touch in forever. And he makes the first down that seals the game. That's the concern. It's guys you don't think, and then they find a way to step up when they're in this environment. There's a lot of things I'll worry about literally over the next 13 days.
It's a fun, great chess match, man. It's a great Super Bowl. It really is. And by the way, I mean, the fact that the whole Andy thing is unbelievable. Like, it's the Andy Reid Bowl, Roman numeral 2. It's unbelievable. Yeah. He's got McDermott that he beats in the championship game, and then the Eagles. Like, it's wild.
It's amazing. It's amazing. The football gods, man. They've got a great sense of humor, and honestly, let's hope this ends the right way in Philly, man. Because if one plays the way he played yesterday, and he plays the way he played yesterday in New Orleans, I think we're going to get a win.
What would you make of that comment about the straitjacket?
When he said it, I'm like, why you got to say that?
I know. I thought the same thing.
For a man of few words, and everything he says is with purpose. When he said it, I was like, man.
I know. I thought the same thing. Like, dude, not now, right? Like, you don't need that now, dude. Like, come on, bro.
Here's the thing, though. He loves having the chip on his shoulder.
He does.
And he loves that the world is against me.
Yes, haters.
He thrives in that environment.
You're right. Like, that's what. Listen, if that's your fuel, hey, great. Like, I guess, right? Because all he does is win.
That's all he does.
If you got haters to shut up, and you got your coach as a go ahead. I'm sure Sirianni says, I'll play the role. You want me to be the bad guy? Say hello to the bad guy.
And I thought Nick, you're right. And I thought Nick said everything right yesterday.
Yeah.
He's
done a great job.
The last 2.5 months, he's been unbelievable as a decision maker because of one specific thing. he trusts his defense and Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
I think you can go back to last year in the collapse. I can go back to the first 4 weeks of his season, maybe even the Jacksonville game, a lot of the Jacksonville, where it was this lack of trust. And I think his decisions have become more sound and aware of, hey, field position, I don't need to be the most macho man. I can trust my defense. And I think that we've seen a difference in a head coach over the last 2.5 months.
You know, think about this for perspective, because I want younger people to understand this, to enjoy these things, because the first good part of our lives, you and I, right? Yeah. They went to one Super Bowl and we were kids, right? Like one. Yep. All right. They're now in 3 Super Bowls, 3 in the last 8 years. I'm sorry, 2 Super Bowls. I remember 80. You barely. Were you born in 80?
I was 5, and I remember. Yeah. I remember a lot of that. Believe it or not, I remember
we were babies. Things we were kids, and then you got 04, and that was it. Right now, you got 3 in 8 years. Like you got to cherish this thing, man.
You're 100% right. Don't take it for granted at all. I mean, you want to take it for granted? Talk to a Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
And talk to a Giant fan.
Yeah.
Talk to how the Commanders were going through it. Yeah. Like, we've got to lean into this. And I say that to everybody by bringing those 3 teams up, because late 80s, early 90s, we were the team. We were the only team that was at home. Cowboys are in the Super Bowl. Washington was always in the Super Bowl. Giants were in the Super Bowl. And all 3 were winning Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And we were just sitting there saying, God, can somebody help Randall Cunningham, because we have the defense? And we were just waiting and waiting and waiting. And well said, man. Enjoy it, because this stuff doesn't come easy, man. And live in the space and talk your talk.
You know what's nuts is Howie has done this 3 Super Bowls in 8 years, 2 coaches, 2 quarterbacks, really 3 if you count Wentz, 6 coordinators. I mean,
yes,
that's unreal.
And to your point, all of them have been like rebuilds. Many of these things have been rebuilds after after each of these seasons, they were like near collapses, and then you got to turn it around. And he's been like, the last 2 years, he has nailed every single thing in the draft.
I know. Free agency.
And then when he gets a second chance and he learns his lessons, and he's admitted this publicly, he gets that second chance and nails it with the coordinators. Right? Like, he's been fantastic, and he deserves all the credit in the world. He's the best executive that we have in our city, and you can probably say maybe the best executive we'll ever have.
Yes. We had Joe Banner on the other day, and he talked about this story is still amazing, that how he was writing letters almost daily to Joe and Mike Tannenbaum, and the 2 of them were joking about him. And when Tannenbaum tells Joe that he's going to meet Howie for lunch, Joe says, well, make sure it's in a public place, right? I mean, think about it. Like, they viewed him as a stalker. And then afterwards, Tannenbaum was impressed. And then Tannenbaum said to Joe, hey, I can't use him, but you might be able to use him. And Joe said, all right, well, I got an opening. Let me see. And now the dude, and then they Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Like, it's pretty
incredible.
What a story. Story's unbelievable.
The story's unbelievable. And Howie deserves to laugh at everybody.
Yeah. Yes.
In the end, Howie gets the last laugh. And well deserved. The one thing, you don't see a lot of GMs get second and third chances. Yeah. Unless you're Trent Baalke, which stupefies everybody. But when you get those second chances, Howie always learns off of them. And that's what blew me away. Like the Justin Jefferson thing. And then he's like, forget it now. I'm going to target SEC players and understand SEC talent. And then understanding how to get defensive linemen. He sees the big picture, man. And he learns from his mistakes. And, let's go all the way to the top. Jeffrey Lurie's patience continues to pay off, man.
Yeah. You're spot on, my brother. Nobody we wanted to celebrate more with than you, buddy.
Do you wear?
Let's go.
The best. What?
Do you strut into work today? Wear some Kelly Green? Strutting around
I'm
the
actually
halls?
off today, but I'm going on the no. Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to bring this up to you guys because you had my man Booger McFarland on the show a couple weeks ago, and he's giving me all this talk and all. So we had Boog on the air last week, and Boog surprisingly didn't tell anybody. He was like, "I want to wager a bet with you because he loves Jaden Daniels, LSU." He goes, "If the Eagles were to lose, you can't wear any hair product for 2 weeks." and I said, "Boog, I don't even have hairspray. All right, like you have no idea. I don't put a lot of product in my hair." I said, "But I can't do that because I'm on SportsCenter every single day. So that's just not fair." I said, "But we'll do this. You're not on TV a lot." I said, "If the Eagles win," I said, first off, if the Eagles lose, I'll do one day. I'll come in on SportsCenter on Tuesday, no hair product. We'll figure it out. If the Eagles win for the next 2 weeks, you can't shave and you can't cut your hair at the top." And he's like, "Done. That's a done deal." Last night, my man was already reneging. Never said it. Unaware. I said we got it on tape in front of national audience. So if you have him on over the next 2 weeks, you make sure to bring it up that a bet is a bet, and he needs to follow through on that because I'm going to be with him in New Orleans, and I'm going to give him so much shit because my man better grow out that patched beard that he's got over there and that awful hairline. I cannot wait. So you guys better call him out.
Man.
All right?
Yeah, we got to
shots at a man's hairline.
I love it.
Oh.
I love it.
Yeah.
I freaking love it.
Yeah.
What are you
and I'll
going
see
to
you
New
guys
Orleans?
in New Orleans, right? I'll see you in New Orleans.
Yes. What are you doing?
I'm working SportsCenter, and I'll be there. It'll be fun, man. It'll be a blast.
It's gonna be awesome.
We'll connect.
I love it. Kevin Negandhi, yes, Super Bowl.
Go Birds.
Go
what
Birds.
are we waiting for?
That's fabulous. That's absolutely fabulous. Oh my God. Awesome. 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 All right. This portion of the show presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. You got to go to TrueMark.com/PHLY to find the credit union difference. Let's talk about some of our friends. Yes, the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino apps got you covered for the big game. Look no further. All the next 2 weeks, they're going to have all kinds of odds boosts and fun stuff. And right now, the birds are open. Go to it. It's 2. Let's see if it moved.
Still 2.
Till 2. 49.5 total.
Yep.
49.5. You can bet more than just a score. Player. What's Barkley's? I don't know if they had the props up. Probably too soon. But I'm curious to see if what Saquon's rushing total is.
I'll take a look.
All right. See, because you can do that. Right. And I do think Cook had success running the ball against Kansas City. Wow. Saquon.
113.5.
Oh, dude. I love the
That's
over.
a high number, man.
113.5?
Yeah.
Not for Barkley. I love that number, man. They had success running the ball. They're going to have it again. Saquon. Do the MVP. In fact, Barkley to win the MVP, it was big. It was like 7. It was like plus 500. It's probably not anymore. But that was before the game yesterday. You can do all that sort of thing. There's a million ways to play the big game on the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. And then you got to go to the casino and the whole thing. And in fact, if you're a new customer and you're down the first 24 hours, you can get up to $1,000 casino bonus back. All right? BetParks.com has all the details. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Ohio, Maryland. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. And we're brought to you by Rothman, the Rothman Docs. In fact, Dr. Salvo made us feel good, if you remember, on Friday when he said that Jalen should be fine.
Yep.
He said, I'll have the brace. In fact, he took the brace off.
Yeah, he was fine. He was definitely fine.
Jalen looked fantastic. Dr. Salvo knows. All the Rothman docs know, because if your joints are aching, your hands are cramping, your back's out of whack, Rothman's got you. And Rothman Orthopedics, practicing specialized care, has been their passion for over 50 years. Their mission, high quality, compassionate, and affordable care rooted in research. Research leads to new treatments and better outcome. Each Rothman doctor laser focused on their specialty. hip, knee, spine, you name it. They got a team for each body part right in your backyard. So you can cross over that defense, drain those jumpers, root for our teams like no other fans in the country. The Rothman Orthopedics, they specialize in you. Rothman Orthopedics specialize in orthopedics and you. You can visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY to learn more and to make an appointment today.
Hey, one real quick thing, if I can just plug this in. We currently have a fire sale that's going on right now for the next 36 hours. It's going to end tomorrow night. You can become a diehard for $36 on the year. That's right. It's going to end tomorrow, 36 hours. So if you want all of that Fran Duffy stuff, if you want Zach Berman, if you want, all those Sixers guys, the Flyers guys, if you want all of that content, right now is your time to get it for $36. Get it while it's hot.
I like it.
Get it while it's hot.
Sound like you should be on the boardwalk.
Get
it while it's hot. It's hot. It's hot. Woo! $2 for $1. $2 for $1.
Yeah, man.
Except for the fire alarm sound.
Yeah, that was.
Well, I was trying to, make it fun. You got to make it fun.
No, there you go. I like it. All right, we got the playback, and we got a lot of people. We got a couple people want to chime in.
We got a couple callers. One being Black Gritty.
Oh, that's great.
And we got a couple callers I'm going to call in, but we got a playback, man. We got playback.
We'll get to our friends and celebrate. Again, need to celebrate. Let's start it off yesterday and relive a spectacular Sunday in Philadelphia, beginning pregame with the one and the only BDN.
Love
Nick
it.
Foles.
He was on Broad Street last night.
He's the best. Here he is. Look at it. Look at the guys. Everybody, look at this.
It's a nice jacket.
It's a great jacket.
The fur or the bird jacket?
Hey, everybody.
Nick's. The fur's nice too, but Nick's jacket's great.
Yeah. And Shady and Nick, fantastic. All right, Jalen, getting everybody going.
Oh, my sound here.
Yeah, we have audio or what? Let me hear it.
We should have audio.
Let me hear it. Let me hear it.
Let me see here. Someone's messing around.
There's Jalen pregame. We got all kinds of good stuff, man. Oof. I want to get nuts.
Let's just watch the whole game again.
Win! He loves playing us against the world card.
And he's probably going to have it again because people are going to pick the Chiefs. The talking heads will pick the Chiefs.
Yeah. But here's the thing: it should be us including all of us, Philadelphia.
Yeah,
because everybody's been there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go, towel waving. Let me see it. Stadium. Nothing better than pregame, dude. Nothing better than the Eagle, the anthem, the flyover.
Some fireworks.
Oh, it was awesome. I love the Eagle. The Eagle's the greatest. I do. I love the Eagle. I love the flyover.
It's the first time the Pagans saw
the national anthem was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad Fox showed it.
We're having a technical difficulty with our audio. 1 second. The audience cannot hear the video, so
neither can we.
I know something's. That's what happens when you share this system with 4 other beats. Here, let me try to figure this out real quick.
Okay. All right. Oh God. I do love the opening of that.
The pagan has never seen the beginning with me. She's like, they have a real eagle flying? Like, the Eagle's beautiful.
Is the greatest.
Do we know the Eagle's name? Does it have a name?
I don't know.
I have to look it up.
Funny things go through your mind. Like, I would never think about
Don't you want to call the name of the Eagle?
I call him the Eagle. Like, he's the Eagle. There's only one. Like, he's the Eagle. He's our Eagle, the Eagle. And, God forbid when he perishes, there's a new Eagle. Right? Like, he's the Eagle. He's like that is a good name, Challenger. I like the Eagle, though. The Eagle, that's majestic. It's such a great bird.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's such a beautiful
The eyes
bird.
look great.
Yeah, the eyes are the piercing.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
And by the way,
even when they blink, it's like a clear blink. You still see the eye through the blink.
The piercing eye. And by the way, it's so patriotic.
Yeah.
It's patriotic. It's outrageous. All right. Sounds like you fixed it. Hey, Andrew.
I fixed it on end.
All right.
He's got the guys from Ace Hardware Home Services over here working on the computer right now.
I'll tell you the truth. I'm about to call them.
Love you, Ace guys.
Yeah, I need them
Look
here.
how quick they came out.
I know. They do everything, including that.
What is going on here?
That's fantastic.
Oh, we just lost the home.
All right. I mean, at some point, we could go through the game ourselves and do it. I mean, you could just play the video. If they could see it, we could talk over it.
Sure.
All right?
Yep.
I mean, if you fix it, then you fix it. It all started, right? Like when you look at Washington goes down the field. And let me take it. Let me ask you what you thought. Because when they go down the field, I don't really like it. 18 plays. They were going for it on fourth down.
It was uncomfortable. You're like, oh man, is this going to be all day? These drives are just going to pick us apart. What have they seen on the film? But when it came down, push came to shove, the bend don't break. They did not break.
And it really is a hallmark of Vic Fangio.
Mm-hmm.
Because they finally get him into it. It's let me ask you this.
They
too,
convert 2 fourth downs? It felt like multiple fourth downs.
Yeah, they could. Well, the big one was the 4th and 5 at the Eagles 43. That was the one I was like, damn.
Yeah.
And then they converted a 4th and 2. And then it's 3rd and 9. And Daniels goes to Eckler. It's 4th and 3 to 16. I thought they were going to go for it again. And he kicked the field goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of a win, right?
I tweeted that out. I was like, this feels like a win. I feel great about this.
And that drive was a mammoth drive. It was 18 plays, 54 yards, and it took up 7:53. And, of course, the Eagles, they respond with one play. All right. The home run, Saquon for 60. 60. Oh, my God. Again, Mr. January.
All we heard about is they're going to block the box, cram the box, and make Jalen beat it in the first place.
It was unbelievable. First play. There you go. The one guy you can't let beat you. Andrew, it's not working, though.
I feel like
the system's freezing up. I'm having a hard time, even playing the videos.
All right, well, forget the videos.
Excited.
All right, everybody's excited. Don't worry about it. But Saquon, I thought the same thing. Going, are you kidding me? How in the world
His first play.
are they going to go first play? Is he going to go to the house? That was unbelievable.
I didn't even get a chance to dip anything into a dip at that point. I was like, what's happening here?
I know. It was unbelievable. I mean, it really was. It was incredible. And then think about this. It's 7-3, and then they're going back. It's if they got the first down, it's 1st and 10 at their own 39, and they gained 6, right? It's Daniels to De'Ami Brown, and then they got crunched. Zach Ball. And that was big. Again, big, huge turnover, right? That the Eagles convert right away with Barkley again going on a 4-yard touchdown run.
And you're thinking, it can't be this easy with Barkley. But they are just that good. The offensive line and Barkley they are that good. Baldy's been with us. No one can stop this team from running the ball.
No.
You can't.
No, and then Washington comes back. They mount a drive. It's 14-3. Washington mounts a drive. It stalls at the Eagles' 28. They kick the field goal. So now it's 14-6. Yeah. And this is what was interesting, right? This is when the game's still a game. It's 14-6, and Elliott misses the long field goal, which I'll be honest with you, I know it's only 54 yards, but I'm not feeling Elliott. And they try it. He's not even close. Then Washington gets the short field.
That was a bad sack, right? Frankie Louvu put them.
Yes.
They had 3rd and 6.
Yes.
I was like, yeah.
That was a bad sack because it pushed the field goal way back. He pushes it right. And then the next thing you know, Daniels to McLaurin for the touchdown. And then they try for 2 and they miss it. Which I'd be honest with you, when a team misses a 2, it's a mini win.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. You miss extra point, mix 2 point. It's a deflator a little bit. It takes a little edge off the touchdown.
It is. So then then this is big because it's 14-12, and you're going, all right. Like, I don't know. I'm going, it's a game now, right? You're thinking it's a game. And then they mount that drive. That drive is a thing of beauty. 12 plays, 72 yards. And the big one was the conversion on 4th and 5 because the game's hanging in the balance, right? They're at the 45-yard line of Washington. You miss it, right?
Great field position, 1 point game. One touchdown game.
And I'll be honest with you, I heard Zach say, I go for it all the time like it was nothing. I was punting. Like, I don't know where you were. And if you call me, scared, so be it. But I was going to punt.
Yeah, I would have punted.
Because at that point, 4th and 5 is 5's a lot. 4th and 3, I go for it. 4th and 5 at the 45. If that ball's incomplete, they take over, short field.
Yep.
That was a huge conversion. And then the other one.
Do you think that's Kellen? You think Nick gives the approval of that, or you think it's all Kellen? Nick's got to be cool, go with it. Yeah, Nick. Yeah, Nick.
And then the other one was the key play. It's 3rd and 13, and they're going to escape. They're going to escape with just a field goal. And that's another big piece of the game. And the PI on Lattimore on AJ.
AJ was in his head.
Yes.
In his head. He was so frustrated.
And that gave up the touchdown. It's 20-12, right? Then Washington again fumbles the kickoff. All right. Shipley lays the wood.
How about that?
Right?
Yeah.
And recovers the fumble. And then boom, boom. 2 plays in, and then you're in. Touchdown. And then that was the Hurts to AJ.
That I don't know why it hasn't always been there. I don't know if the Commanders were giving them something other teams weren't, but I'm glad to see it's back.
And then after that, you had the field goal. That was the only down part. It's 39 seconds. They have no timeouts. And the big Jalen Daniels run sets up the field goal to make it 27-15 at halftime.
That was the one time that they opened up the one lane and let him. He took advantage of it.
That was it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they come out. They stone the Birds. 3 and out.
I'm a little disappointed about that.
All right. Washington takes over their own 26. They run it to Robinson, 2nd and 8, and this was the big play. Jordan Davis, a 12-yard sack, comes rumbling, bursts through the middle, the big boy.
He looks so big.
He looks like a monster, right? And the big sack, and then that gets the ball back to the Birds. They start off good field position at the 42, and then they're able to go. That was a big Goddard, AJ to Goddard. Hurts was fantastic. He hits Goddard for 26, first for 7, then for 26, 1st and goal to 9, and then Jalen right off a left guard. And there it was. That was it. 34-15. The Commanders come back again, right? This time they get the 2-point conversion to make it 34-23. They fumble. All right. I mean, the Eagles punt. Then they get on. There's another big play in the game. They have a 1st and 10 at the 49, and they're about to make it a one-score game. They're only up 11.
They thought so.
Right? Jaden Daniels to Eckler, and then all of a sudden, Oren Burks with the tackle, stripped them, Bond with the recovery, and the Eagles cash in, and it's a blowout from there.
Oren Burks is filled in nicely.
Dude,
there's no mistakes. He's not making the big mistakes.
No, I mean, and that's what this, we talk about this, the cliche of football about the collective and all, but it's real.
Yeah.
Next man up, all that stuff. That's all stuff. You need contributors.
Yeah, you hear it from everyone always says that, but it feels like this with these guys.
It does. They got a great vibe about them, man. They're a lovable team.
Yeah.
not all teams that win. People say, well, if you win, you're lovable. That's not the truth. That's not the case all the time. But this team in this town, this city has vibed all year long, man.
Well, the defense, they're not like any really high price free agents on defense, right? They're draft picks and some people Howie's found. Yeah.
People love that. Like, and that's why, again, this town loves homegrown, whether it's draft pick or minor leagues in baseball, homegrown, you guys, your guys.
Yes. Yeah. And I don't want to say, well, I'll say they're like lunch pail guys on defense. Yeah. This is everything we've wanted in a defense and a running game.
It's the truth, man. It really is. All right. We got a couple people that want to chime in.
That we do. And our first caller is Fit Dad.
Fit Dad! Yo, Fit Dad!
Yeah. Look at that sweatshirt. Nice.
That is a great sweatshirt.
Yeah.
I like that, Fit Dad.
Got a little hockey feel to it.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's cool. It does have that feel to it. It's cool.
I think I'm delayed. I'm not sure, but
that's all right. Don't worry about
it. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, no. This game was exactly. I mean, I don't know if you guys knew what I said when I was on here a week ago, but I said 41-17 was going to be the score.
Yep. You called for a route, baby. Fit Dad. No. You saw it, Fit Dad. You saw it.
It was nothing. There was nothing about this team that I knew. Jaden Daniels was the X factor in this game. Period. Like, he was the only guy that was going to change this game, and the defensive line kept him contained. He had 2 big runs, and the last one that he had was almost a meaningless run. As soon as we got that last fumble when they were about to go, I think they were marching down the field. And the second we got that fumble, I said it was over. I knew it was over. And I could see us going down and scoring again and again and again. So.
Yeah, it was. Man, what a part. Were you down there? You home? Take us into your lair.
I was home. Yeah, I was home. Yeah, I was watching it with the fam. Actually, for the first time, like, everybody was kind of like in and out of the room watching it. So it was kind of fun. But I was freaking out the whole game. I'm screaming. I mean, they're so physical, and I was saying a couple weeks ago, they're so physical in defense that it almost shocks other teams. I think they're not ready for it. But then all of a sudden, the offense comes out there and smacks you in the mouth too. I mean, they had 17 plays, the Commanders had. Saquon comes out there, 1 play. 1. You think the Chiefs are going to be able to stop that? No.
And we saw Cook have success running on them.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, did you see how many tush pushes did Josh Allen have, and how many times did they have to attempt it?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Luvu. Luvu had to jump over our pile and get 17 penalties just to be able to even attempt to stop us. There isn't a guy on that defensive line. I mean, Chris Jones is probably going to fill that gap, pretty well. But we've already seen that Hurts can pull out, throw a little gadget play, and, just quick strike to AJ. And wouldn't be surprised if I saw that, and it's actually successful in this game. Because the Chiefs can get in there and stop them. They know how to clog that box. But I don't see us losing in this game. And I haven't seen it. I didn't care who came. If it was Josh Allen, dude, we would have wrecked that team. I said the same thing about that Lions team. Let the Lions have beat the Commanders last week. We would have routed that team even worse than we did the Commanders.
I agree. That defense was going to stop people could cry about the Lions all you want. You're going to tell me that defense would have stopped the Eagles' offense? No way.
Dude, they were so decimated. And honestly, if that Lions defense was healthy the way it was with Aiden Hutchinson and all them guys, that would have been a game yesterday.
Agreed.
That Commanders defense is a joke. That Commanders defense is an absolute joke. And I don't care about Lattimore and his little baby axe that he kept going up against. The whole time I'm watching that game, I'm like, Mike Evans is at home punching air right now. And he's hoping he can jump in there and help AJ out. But it was a great game from beginning to end, and Jalen shut everybody up. Saquon, he should be the MVP in my opinion. Yes. He should be the MVP, period. And I wish that they could take that offensive line and just give them all an MVP as well, because they've been the best offensive line for the past 4 seasons now. I mean, undoubtedly the past 4 seasons. So it's Saquon's the MVP. Jalen shut everybody up. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to walk out of New Orleans with the trophy. I'm excited.
I love it. Fit Dad! We'll talk to you before the Super Bowl.
Yep.
You got to get your prediction.
Oh yeah, I got it. It's gonna be a closer game, but I still don't think it's gonna be
Save it for next week. Save it for next week. All right. Bombay! Go Birds!
Go Birds.
Who we got?
We got Black Gritty.
Oh, there he is. The one, the only Black Gritty.
So following up Fit Daddy is a blessing and a joy. He was on Gritty Nights last week, and we was all pontificating, talking about the world and what's going on.
Nights. I love it.
Hey, Gritty Nights, we in these streets because VG, I just sent you an image to prove to the people that I'm from the future. Don't disclose it, but check your phone so you can collaborate and tell the people that I'm from the future. You see it? Did you see the text message?
No.
Check the text message. So let me tell y'all something. The Philadelphia Eagles mollywopped the Washington Commanders. George Harris went home crying like I said he would. The Sixers are the only team in Philadelphia didn't say go Birds, and you get what you deserve. I checked all the social medias. I checked all of them. And guess Jalen Carter, when he hit my boy with the Reggie White, bless you. I fear for any man that has to have a job that goes up against Jalen Carter. I'd quit my job. I wouldn't show up to work. I'm not doing it, okay? Without security. They put security on the field. Oh, we got big dog. They ain't got security. That game was amazing. You don't like Jalen Hurts? Take a flight out of Philadelphia and dive into the Delaware River, brother, because I don't want to hear nothing. Oh, he can't pass. He doesn't do. He does what's needed at the time that it's needed. He doesn't throw the ball away because he's not turning over the ball. Did you watch the Commanders turn over the ball? Oh, that young rookie, give him a cookie, send him to Cancun, because I tell you what, I don't want to hear nothing about best rookie ever going to a Super Bowl. Save that conversation for somebody else. You're still the Commanders. Bump. Your trash pandas. Your Cinderella story is over. The glass slipper is done. And the ugly stepsisters came in and sent you back home packing with your pumpkin selves. Oh, my God. It was so good. Saquon Barkley. Because I'm so sorry to tell you, the Philadelphia Eagles are running through every single person. Like I said last week, the Eagles look like me at a buffet. Unstoppable. $40 on the table. Do what you need to do because we get it done. Quinyon the dog got your interception again. Scary Terry did the Scary Terry celebration, and they only got one catch for 1 yard on them. It's just embarrassing. Dickerson, grown man, Statland University. I don't care what nobody say. Send your donations to that man's family. We need to build a statue to that man. Dickerson goes in there and handles his business. His leg is broken. He on the sideline like, I'm dying, but I got it, brother, because it's a city of brotherly love. And then Jurgen said, halftime, I'm back in this piece. I'm back in. Oh, they fighting together. They got that George W. And people ask all the time, why do you call it a George W? Especially when you're going up against Commanders. And let me tell you here, because it's a little secret for you, because you don't know what it is. George W. George Washington crossed the Delaware to save America. This city is built America's teams. The Sixers are America's team. The Eagles, the Flyers, the Philly, the Union. We birthed America. So when you get that George W., you're going across that Delaware to bring back a win. And that's what the Philadelphia Eagles did. Now, I'm going to pause for a second. VG, can you confirm that I'm from the future?
Yeah. He did very well betting yesterday.
No, yeah. Don't tell the number now. I don't need the IRS coming after me.
I said you did very well.
And don't show cuz I'm still running up his tab at Primo's. I'm not paying for nothing on this run, cuz we got to keep it going, baby. You know what I mean? That's the good luck charm. Cuz buying your boy food. I'm so excited. Y'all got a question, anything you want to ask me, or can I just go home and go on my business? I've only slept 90 minutes today. I had no naps. I'm struggling. Go Birds. Go Birds.
All right. I say to you, now, obviously, we're going to wait for any predictions and stuff.
I ain't talking about the other punk team. We talking about us today. You right.
Right. So I want to know one thing. When you were watching Kansas City Buffalo, who did you want?
So I don't lie. I wanted Buffalo, but I wanted it for Josh Allen, not because I'm scared of them. it's just when you're growing up and you watch the Buffalo Bills, you watch Jim Kelly, and no one talks about this man like he didn't take his team to 4 Super Bowls. There's something to the fact that like we elevate Burrow because he beat Patrick. You're in the era where if you don't beat Brady like Manning did at one point, you could be lost to the annals of time. And Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are such great quarterbacks, but they keep running up against this buzzsaw called Taylor Swift and the refs. And sometimes you just want a guy to break through and have a good game. But personally, it doesn't matter to me because the defense wins championships and it travels, and Jalen Hurts just wins. And I know, again, for the stupid people that will say, well, he hasn't won a Super Bowl. Well, if your name or the coach or the team you play for is Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady, you can shut the LL Cool J up because most of these quarterbacks haven't done it yet. But we have a second opportunity in 3 years. I'm so excited. Cuz. Go Black Gritty!
Oh, that's fabulous. We got one more? Chat's hopping.
We got one more.
Who we got?
We got Glenn.
Yo, G.
Let me pull Glenn up here.
What is it, G? What is it, brother?
Hey, what's that? Listen, Black Gritty is awesome, and it's always funny to hit Black Gritty go off, man. I didn't think he was going to come up for air for a while there.
Well, I'm thrilled that you called because Glenn from Wallingford, we have shared many of these moments getting back a long time. And that's why you got to cherish them, man.
Oh,
right?
Listen, I every time, listen, now I'm 52 now, right? So it's like I've got to see a lot of good things in the last 25 years of my life, right? And so, listen, we don't always get these moments. And I've always said, listen, we know how it is. And I know you always talk about how everyone looks at all the other sports like a football game, right? Like, the Sixers or Flyers or whoever lose one game in the middle, or the Phillies lose a game in the middle of the summer, everyone takes it to heart, right? And so I try to enjoy the ride, man. And this has been a wonderful ride with this team this year. Even last year, things kind of went to hell, right? And we knew that Howie did such a great job of getting the coordinators right. And, Vic Fangio, unbelievable job, man. And so this team is so good. They are set up to win and win for a while with this young talent they have too. So hopefully it's just, we're going to cherish this moment, right? But we're also going to look at, like, we got a little run here again. I know you always said the Roaring 20s a few years ago, and we're living it right now. We're living in the Roaring 20s, my man.
We are. This is the Roaring 20s, man. It's unbelievable.
Man, I'm loving it. Wow.
Like the fact, and again, 3 Super Bowls in 8 years
seems
with 2 different coaches, with multiple quarterbacks, right?
In Philadelphia.
Right? In Philadelphia. All the coordinators. I mean, it's unreal. I mean, I thought Wentz, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wentz is out. Foles wins, right? Wentz comes back. Wentz is out. Hurts is in. The storyline's amazing. Rebuilding. Sirianni. Doug's out. Here's Sirianni, Gannon, Steichen. They're out. In comes Kellen Moore from Dallas.
Brian Johnson
between. Right in between. And then Vic. Uncle Vic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a wild story, man.
Oh, absolutely. And I tell you what, it is funny because now on social media, you get to see how many – listen, Philadelphia, we are the world. You see so many people from across the country and around the world that embrace Philadelphia. I mean, you got people who hate on us, and let them hate on us. But there's so many people from all over the place that come back, and you see them right now. You'll see over the next 2 weeks, people coming and with wearing their Eagles gear. And listen, I travel a little bit for work. When I'm going through the airports, and these last few weeks have been great. You see somebody have their Eagles hat on, and you just give them a "Go Birds," and that's all you need, man. And it's all over the place. It is unbelievable.
It is.
We are living it.
We're living it, man. It's just a beautiful thing. Philadelphia, our city, and this is great because we'll be center of the universe in 2026 because it's USA 250. And it's about us, man. We deserve a time where the nation looks at, and the Eagles are bringing it all the attention. It's great.
And you know what's funny? This is going to be one of the few times I think that the rest of the country is going to be rooting for the Eagles because they've got the KC fatigue, right? So as much as everyone hates on us, everyone's got that KC and Patty Mahomes fatigue. So, hey, jump on board, man. Enjoy the ride because it's going to be a fun 2 weeks. It's going to be a great 2 weeks. And I listen, a buddy of mine, Chris Romanelli, had mentioned, I don't know, this was a while ago in the season. He said, I don't think we're losing another game. Now, they lost the Washington game, which they should have won anyway. I mean, of course. But these are the last – and Baldy said it, a few weeks ago? He goes, we're going 4-0, right? And – so far, 3. We just need one more to complete it, right? So this team is so good, and they're so fun to watch. Unbelievable.
It's the truth, man. It's the greatest. I'm so glad you called, G. It's awesome, brother. Let's keep doing it. All right, we got a fun 2 weeks ahead of us.
Absolutely. I tell you what, yesterday was a rough day because me and my buddy, we had some people over, and I said, I'm getting into it. I'm getting lathered up. I'm like, every time they score a touchdown, I'm going to do a shot of Jameson. Little did I know they were going to put up 56 points. Woo! It was rough. A rough morning this morning. That's why I'm working from home.
Working hard.
I love it, man. That's what J-Mo will
see you
do
guys.
for
Love you, boys.
See you, G. You're the best, buddy. Oh, that's fabulous.
Love that you get all lathered up.
Yeah, man. Oh, that's great. We got so much. It's going to be a lot of fun over the next couple of weeks. We're going to be having a blast. And again, you're in the chat. You want to hang with us. You want to call and talk to us and share the revelry. Let's do it. All right. How's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, best way to get a hold of me is by my email. That is andrew@allphly.com. Just email me there, and I can get you on the show. I'll send you a link. It's andrew@allphly.com.
It could be audio, video, whatever you want, all right? As long as we connect and talk about it all, because we are going to the Super Bowl! Go Birds! See you tomorrow!
We all silly like the mayor.